Alright, before I get started here, I'm doing a giveaway. So every 1,000 subs in January equals one Dazzler Pass for a February 1st giveaway. We have reached 16,000 subs, so that is plus one Dazzler Pass guaranteed, and we are currently at 16.25 thousand. I believe that we can get 17,000 by the end of January, and if that does happen, not only is it plus one Dazzler Pass, but it's also I rank 3 Kang or OG Thanos. It's up to y'all. There will be a pretty massive poll deciding that, so if you want to see that happen, subscribe and let's get started. So let's talk about Beta Ray Bill, right? And let's first talk about what inspired this video. And it was this fight right here. This fight just really made me remember this champion, since I'll be completely honest, ever since his release day, any day after that, I just kind of forgot about this champion. I forgot that he existed. I know that he does have his fans for sure, but I feel like for the majority community, he was kind of just like a flash in the pan until this guy came out, this Autumn of Agony Heimdall boss. Beta Ray Bill absolutely demolishes this guy. It is such a clean fight. It is, I think, by far Beta Ray Bill's best showing in a piece of endgame content like this. And yeah, let's check out what happens here. So first things first, we have the grit buff active, so we completely ignore the brace node where he goes unstoppable after any special attack or heavy attack. That's just out the window. Additionally, with the assault battery, our damage output on those instant shocks are supercharged, so we are doing a lot of damage with that assault battery. And check this out, we're gonna drop the SP1 one more time, and that's it. Easiest fight ever with Beta Ray Bill, just because he shuts down the important node, which is the brace node, and he just has a ton of damage output in that type of health pool. And that was the fight where I was like, okay, this champion has to be revisited at least, because he might actually be back. So let's give this guy a shot. Let's take him into the newest pieces of content, where I haven't really seen any videos of Beta Ray Bill doing this content, since it's kind of been dry ever since his release, and before the Heimdall fight. I just didn't really see much about Beta Ray Bill. I think I saw one video and it was called why no one plays Beta Ray Bill, so I was like, dang man, is it that rough out there for him? But I'll be honest, he does just fine in this content. He is doing pretty solid so far. He has access to Armor Pulverize, which is really good for this node especially. We dropped the SP1, massive burst damage right there, and yeah, things are going very, very well in this matchup, and that's it. The combo just does the job. So that was a pretty fast fight. That was what, 50 seconds? Yeah, 51 seconds. For an Act 9 path fight, that is honestly very good, because these health pools are insanely high. And this is where I feel like Beta Ray Bill is also back, because as these Act health pools get higher, this guy just gets even better, since he wants those health pools to be high, since his damage output is very ramp up based, right? So yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing so far from him. He is doing these path fights very well. Then again though, this is a cosmic lane. This is meant for him pretty much. So if he couldn't do it, then obviously that's a very big problem. But he's doing his job just fine. This is the, I guess, bare minimum. You have to be able to do this as a cosmic character. You don't have to, right? But if you can take it, then it's a very good showing. So yeah, here he dropped the SP1 one more time, got that second Fury up, and yeah, the fight's just done, man. That burst damage is disgusting. Once he gets going, and I say get going, but it's still a sub 1 minute fight. So there really isn't much to get going, right, with a ramp up that isn't even that bad. 52 seconds, man, that's good. That's not even, yeah, it took a bit to get there, but it was worth it. No, that's just good fight time. So yeah, man, I don't know. Beta Ray Bill, here's something crazy. Maybe he's just always been good. Maybe, okay, here's the thing. Maybe he's always had good potential, but we just haven't really found any places to show it yet. But I feel like with all these higher health pools coming out, all these specific EOP boss fights that really work with him, we're now starting to see like where this champion like really does shine, and it's in these pieces of content, and these will be the future, so maybe it's worth investing into Beta Ray Bill. Now here's the thing, this is a rank 2 unawakened Bill. This is pretty much as free to play friendly and like as budget as it gets, right? So this right here isn't like hard to obtain. It's one rank up from like his base rank. It's very, very easy to obtain for a majority of players that acquire a 7-star champion. So yeah, this is like minimal investment, and he is performing very, very well in all this relevant content. So that's why I feel like this champion might be worth investing into. Like, I might have to rank 3 him just because, it might be a good future investment. Or like if I awaken him, I might invest Sigs into him because he does get a pretty nice benefit if he is awakened. Because here's the crazy part. His awakened ability increases his burst damage by up to 40% at max sig. So when I mean that this is like as minimal as it gets, I am not joking. Like, he can have up to 40% more burst damage whenever he is max sig. That is wild. We haven't even touched the surface with this character, and I want to do that. I want to see what he's like at max power. So maybe I make like a content creator beta video where I do max him out there. We'll have to see, but this is a great appetizer. I feel like it's a great start to like just see what this champion does at a power level that pretty much everyone watching can obtain. So yeah, so far this fight is going pretty well. This is Thunderstruck, which is, you have to have a shock to do damage. He of course has access to a ton of shocks, so this should be pretty much no issue for him. And yeah, he is definitely doing this without any issue. He is taking it very, very well. Once you're in that loop with like the buff pause and the like shocks expiring, it's just so chill and it's so easy because you just win, man. You just win with that burst damage. It's so good. It is so powerful. Now here's the thing about Beta Ray Bill and him being like a cosmic character. There has been a ton of cosmic characters that have come out recently, and I think he is gonna be like competing in some cases against them, but then again, there are some things that he does that is like completely unique to him. For example, he does have access to the steady buff that no one else has except for him, which helps him counter future Ant-Man, which is a pretty nice positive. He also does have access to like shock, which is also very rare for a cosmic character to have. He has grit, which most cosmics do not have, and he has armor pulverized, which Deathless Thanos does have, but it's really just him and Thanos that have it, that like, are relevant anyway. Sorry, that was a bit mean to Captain Marvel movie. I do apologize. But yeah, most of his kit is pretty unique. His source of damage output is also very unique, and his playstyle is incredibly unique. So yeah, I feel like while this champion is competing with other cosmic characters that just came out, is he actually? Because he feels vastly different from all of them. So that's why I'm not really worried about investing into this champion if I choose to, because while there are other cosmics like coming out and making pretty big impacts, what Beta Ray Bill does I feel like is completely unique to him, and that's what makes me comfortable with like playing this champion and ranking him up. But now we have Vulture on this Mixmaster node, no big deal, just another cosmic quest in 9.1, and he of course handles it very well. So like he does handle the cosmic tropes well. The only thing that he like doesn't have is access to any true abilities. He has no true sense, strike, or accuracy. He does have grit, which is still very helpful, but not really helpful against those tech defenders. It's just a great general utility, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think that he does have his use with that for sure. Like, grit is very, very good, but he isn't like a complete cosmic character. And like that just adds to his uniqueness, I guess. He does have like, a lot of buffs, which is very cosmic like. He doesn't really have many DOT debuffs, which is very new for cosmic characters, but then again, you'll see how having passives might be even more helpful than having debuffs because of the fight after this. So yeah, here we just go for the SP1 rotation. It's like pretty much game over once you get that, because it's really hard to stop. It's very hard to mess up as well, so while he seems a bit complicated with the playstyle, trust me, his ease of use isn't that, like, it's pretty fine if you ask me. And yeah, fight's just done afterwards. Massive overkill on that final SP1, but that's okay. So now we have this Lady Deathstrike boss, and this is what I'm talking about when I said sometimes it's best to just have passives. This is a right back at it Lady Deathstrike. So whenever she gets knocked down, she goes debuff immune for like how many seconds? Like 4 seconds, right? But the important thing is she takes all the debuffs off of her. So like any armor break champion, like, you know, Scream or Medusa, once they knock down Deathstrike, they just cannot get their damage going. But Beta Ray Bill isn't even slightly affected by this. He is like perfect for it because his shocks are passive. He has no debuffs outside of that whatsoever, so he is pretty much the ideal option for this besides like maybe Gladiator. So yeah, very, very nice fight for him. And also with the Arc Overload node and her base armor up, he can utilize his Pulverize, which is very helpful to get some bonus damage in. So here we go for the SP1 in just a second. First detonation, here we go. It is a lot of damage, but that's just the appetizer. And I love that he does that, right? He teases you with like the, you know, the pretty cool burst damage, but then you realize, oh wait, there is like 2 more Furies to get. And then you like drop the second one and it's like, okay, now he's actually cooking, and then you drop the third one and they don't survive. So yeah, that's just Bill in a nutshell, man. He is such a crazy character, very fun to play. That's like his biggest thing, to be honest. Like if you ask me, at least it's this man's like just level of fun. And yeah, one shot by that final burst damage. That's Bill for you. And we got one more fight here, so let's check it out. Now to end this video, we have this very, very clean Aegon boss takedown. Now this Aegon boss is honestly very, very frustrating because he has this node where like every single hit gives him a cleanse passive, but if you knock him down, it does remove them. However, it also gives him a pretty long passive unstoppable, so it's very annoying to deal with unless you have grit. And Beta Ray Bill, he has grit, so yeah, he is honestly like one of the best options for this matchup. And let's check out the result of, you know, this boss fight. I'm pretty sure you can guess what happens though. We drop the SP2, we get a lot of shocks on him, and now it's time to just end the fight because it's done, right? Like the grit is still up because of the buff pause, so it is pretty much permanently there. Insanely helpful, right? So here we drop the SP1, and first shock damage burst is absolutely crazy. So let's see the second one here. I'm predicting that's gonna be very crazy again. So yeah, here we drop it, and yeah, this animation is just so satisfying. It is one of the best SP1s in the game, and that damage output was just absolutely disgusting. And yeah, this matchup is just over. So very, very fun takedown, very clean matchup. And yeah, Beta Ray Bill, really good champion, has access to Armor Pulverize, has his grit buff, he has access to shock passives, very strong burst damage, you know, has his buffs, has his immunities as well, which do trigger like a massive power gain. So yeah, like he does have it all if you ask me. So I feel like he is worth investing into, especially as health pools get higher and favor his rotation. So overall, very fun champion. I think that he is officially back. I want to see your thoughts though. Do you think that Beta Ray Bill is back? And don't forget that if we get to 17k subs, I will rank 3 King or OG Thanos, so let's get it done before January. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on Beta Ray Bill, and yeah, that's about it for me.